Techtonica Update 4 is here, and in our last episode we checked out the new Mountain King Underhaul map, building this small smeltery to prepare us for today, where I shall be starting the Megafactory. But before we do that, I did want to say a huge thank you does go to Firehose, the developers of Techtonica, for sponsoring this video and giving me the opportunity to showcase this fantastic game, which, for any of you who are new to Techtonica, is a factory automation game where you can excavate terrain, gather resources, automate items, unlock technologies, and discover the secrets of its story, either in single player or in up to 4-player co-op as well. So if that does interest you, make sure to check out the link to the Steam page in the comments and description below, or alternatively, if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can find the game there as well. Oh, and I should probably mention that Techtonica is currently 20% off over on Steam right now, so do check it out. But we need to make some progress today because we've got a big build ahead of us. With the smeltery up and running and also producing, as you can see, a load of other materials as well, I feel that we're almost ready to get started on the Megafactory. There's only one thing that we do need, and that's power. A lot more power. Thankfully, I've already got some resources which will allow us to expand on this from the get-go, including base building parts, because for those of you who don't know, we've made the base building parts, which are these foundations, free for us to produce, thanks to the new in-game advanced settings. But I have realized that if we want to expand these Mark II crank generators, we're going to need to work on steel production. So I think that's the first production chain that we're going to have to start building in our Megafactory. And we also have the hover pack, which has been hugely helpful. Something looks wrong here. What is it? It's you! Goodness me, that would have annoyed me. Right, with that on the go, we should have enough power to get started at least. Nah, we're fine for now. And we can start building the steel production probably in this section here. I should really make some coolant so this doesn't keep overheating. We can either add more generators to this, or we can turn this into the actual factory. But the great thing is that power travels through the foundations, and so it's really important to run these through your factory anyway. Now, whilst I continue on working with this, let me show you some of the new things that have come in Update 4. First and foremost, there are two new maps. We have the one that we're currently playing, which is perfect for the larger builds like the Megafactory that we're doing. And we also have Faithless Void, which features the standard Techtonica map, but also has been adjusted to be more difficult and also darker, whilst also adding new secrets for you to uncover. Now, on top of the new maps, there are also new game modes such as creative or hardcore, as well as a bunch of others. And we also have advanced settings that allow you to customize the game as you see fit, whether that's having the hover pack available from the get-go, like myself, or to make the ore nodes infinite, or should you wish, you could also substantially increase or decrease the base settings of build walls to make the game much easier or harder, depending on what you like. And here we are after a little bit of magic. I've decided to run the resources along this bus, which I've yet to do, this top section, and then the little platform over there, that is where we're going to be starting off our steel. For the steel, we need to turn the iron ingots, which we already have here, to steel ingots, which we do in a smelter. So I'm going to run these over there and set up a smelting line, and then we'll proceed from there. And here we are, the first of the steel. So I'm going to run that back onto the bridge area and continue the bus onwards. And I'm going to repeat this setup on the other side as well. There we go, that's looking much better, but we are going to need more resources because having just 3 lines of resources really isn't gonna cut it for a Megafactory. So the next thing that I need to do is find more resources to refine, I think. And I think I found out where I'm gonna get my resources from. So I've now set up the miners around the top iron node here, and it's actually the blast miners that we're using. These blast miners use mining charges in order to create chunks of iron, which are then threshed in order to produce, I think it's iron powder, and then you smelt it into iron bars. So I'm hoping this is going to be much more efficient. But that does mean I'm probably going to have to allocate this space here specifically to the iron and the copper that's next to it. There's plenty of space here so that we can expand on this later should we want, but we're now producing iron slabs using the blast smelters and iron bars, which have been produced by threshing iron chunks into iron powder. And to get the iron chunks, we had to purify the iron chunks by using silverthorn extract.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love
silverthorn. And then we turned the purified iron into gravel and iron chunks, which is what's happening here. And I've now doubled that up with copper as well. So at this point we have iron slabs, copper slabs, iron and copper bars, steel bars, and also biobricks. So let's get started producing. We're gonna build the Megafactory here, but the first thing that we need to do is fill out this space with foundations. That's going to power our machines, or at least those that aren't using biobricks. Well, that took me longer than expected. We've also done a bit of decorating as well. Next, we've got to get these resources around the corner to that and start separating it into different production lines. With the resources here, I now need to plan where everything's going, and I've started off by taking one of the resources, which are these copper plates, finding which items require that. And then next to that, we also have our iron plates here as well. And so we're now going from copper to using something that uses both the copper and the iron slabs. And then for the next one, this one, the iron mechanisms. Obviously, we're not doing one machine per line, so we're going to add a couple and spread them out. And we're going to do this for each of the items. And here we are. They're currently saturated on the most part, so we need to get this moving again. But we now have all of those 5 items being produced. Next, we need to sort out the rest of these. To be fair, the term Megafactory is a little bit difficult to justify. What is a Megafactory? We're certainly going to get production lines running for all of these items, but this might just be preparing the resources that we need for a real Megafactory. So we'll probably stream that after this video if you'd like to join us. I definitely misjudged this. So we've now done most of the copper. We're now on to, I think, mechanical components after this, and then the more complicated items. The good news is this is going to look awesome once it's done, but I do think we need to prioritize what we need for this Megafactory, and so we'll build them here. That's things like the conveyor belts. Ideally, we want to produce the Mark II version. Looking at it, the conveyor Mark II belt is definitely doable. We've already got everything being manufactured at the moment. We just, well, except for the conveyors. Also, the first 2 inserters are a necessity. We'll need the mining drills being produced, the containers. Smelters are already being produced, same with blast smelters actually. And we definitely need the assemblers, and if I can push it, I will also get to threshers as well. I think that would be a good start for us. Okay, so I have made a lot of progress over the last couple of hours. You can see we have the bus in the center. That's bringing all the resources that we have, the basic ones from our smeltery and the other stops along the way. And then either side, we are producing the resources that we need. And then we have the produced items, like the ones that you can see here, which is the blast smelter and the smelter, as well as some components. Along the side, going to the storage area. And then on the other side, we have even more components. So this is all our iron and steel. We have the storage units, the Mark II and Mark III conveyors as well. And I'm hoping to add a couple more in this last space before sending them to the storage as well. The great thing about this system is it's pretty easy to do, and you just have to ensure that if a belt is running low that you add more to it. So it's a nice easy system. And an added bonus is that when this is all finished, it looks really cool, like a computer motherboard. I'll admit the storage area doesn't look up to much for now, but it's a storage area. It's for storing items, so I'm not too worried about the look right now. We just need to get those items produced. But after thinking about it looking like a circuit board, I decided to change the flooring slightly so we can see the main bus directions. The center is where all the raw resources are, and then we have this vertical line which is holding all the other items, which are being transported underneath the build, because we have plenty of room here for a logistics floor, so why not utilize it? And from there, we have the buildables that are going to the storage, and then the rest of the items, the components, they've been moved slightly to the edge so that we have all this space here for the rest of the production lines. Okay, we have finally done it. So if we hover over here, we can see we've got our blast smelters, our inserters, long inserters, the storage units, the miners, conveyors, Mark II conveyors, the assemblers, the threshers, the water wheels, and also the Mark I generators now being produced, which should be enough to really get the ball rolling, that's the word I was looking for, in a future video. So guys, if you would like me to continue this build, do let me know in the comments below, and what should we be pushing towards. So we are going to leave it there. If you did enjoy it, please do hit the thumbs up, and obviously a huge thank you does go to Firehose Games for sponsoring this video. And if you're wanting to check out Techtonica yourself, do use the link in the comment and the pinned link in the description below. And of course, a huge thank you does go out to all of our patrons as well who support the content on here, most notably our Solarclipse patron Firefless, as well as our Lunas, the Calamity, Ben and Star, as well as our Blood Moon of the day, which today is Jenny. Until next time, as always, ciao for now.